We must open up our minds and take a look inside. That we find we hold all the answers to life.
You're watching RXG exclusives.
Oh, they tried to keep us away.
My guest today is William D. Carter III.
When you have more questions than answers, sometimes you ought to put it in the master's hand and praise him like it's already done. Do I have any praises in the house today?
Not only is he a reverend, but also a very talented singer, songwriter, and actor. In fact, I had the pleasure of directing him many moons ago on the award-winning short film Lit when I was a youngster. And that film was about a group of teens who try to shut down a tobacco company after their health teacher dies of lung cancer. William and I are both alums of the prestigious Philadelphia High School for the Creative and Performing Arts, where he majored in classical voice and I in creative writing. William holds a bachelor's degree in organizational leadership and a Master of Divinity from the Princeton Theological Seminary. And now I'm calling him William, but let me be respectful and say Reverend Carter. It's a pleasure to see you, man. It's been a long time. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here with you.
Now, I've got to ask the most important question first.
Okay.
I've never seen a preacher as stylish as you. You've always been fashion conscious, but where does that sense of style originate?
Where does it come from? Wow. I would say that it comes from my mother, my father, and my grandmother. Yeah. So, just everybody in my family just they have style.
I mean, you're always clean. They used to say on fleek. I don't know if that's still a thing now, but
Right.
You've been on the screen, you've been on stage. I know most recently you were set to reprise your role in the gospel musical When the Child Cries, opposite Karen Clark Sheard of the Clark Sisters. But that performance was postponed due to COVID. What drew you to acting, and where can people see some of your work?
My grandmother, Edna Brown, she did a play called it's called Trust in the Lord, and I was probably a teenager, probably 19, and that was the first play that I was in. The first movie that I was in was your movie, Lit, and I mean, you know what? That was just so much fun, and it just ignited something in me, and I've been tapping into that acting skill ever since.
I mean, you were a scene stealer, I have to admit.
Oh, thank you.
Now, as a younger man, because you're still pretty young, you performed at various venues, from churches to film premieres, including ours, and other special events. You always had an anointed voice. When did you realize you could sing? Who were some of your influences? Who helped foster that talent inside of you?
My maternal grandmother, Edna Brown, back when I was a kid, she had me sing a solo in church, and it was St. Paul Baptist Church, and it was in Florence, New Jersey. And I was probably like seven years old, and I did this song. And after I sung, the church just began to clap, and like people were shouting. And then I was like, oh, maybe you can sing a little bit. And then people started to ask me to sing in different churches. And then I got by the age of 16, I had a full band, like backup singers, and I was doing concerts all around the tri-state area. So it really started at a very young age that I was doing concerts and singing professionally.
Now, you're currently the senior pastor of Pemberton United Methodist Church in Pemberton, New Jersey. You worked with the United Nations, and you've conducted lectures and sermons nationally and internationally. Did you know way back when that you had the calling, and when it finally was solidified for you that this was supposed to be what you do, did you face it head on, or did you push it to the side like some people do?
I did not know that I was called to preach. I often saw myself standing in front of people, but I didn't know what I was doing. Okay, and then the Bible says, and that we see in part, and then we prophesy in part, and I believe that God always gives us a glimpse of what we're going to do in the future. We always may not know how we're going to achieve it or the magnitude of it, but God does give us a glimpse into our destiny. So I always saw myself standing in front of people, but I just never imagined that I'd be blessed and humbled to have some of the experiences that I've had thus far, and I'm just so grateful for it.
Would you say that you were raised in a spiritual or religious household? Did that play any role, or?
Very much so. Very much so. It was a very faith-based home, and I mean, I was in church as a kid. I was in church almost every day. I mean, it was like Bible study, and it was choir rehearsal, and then I not only sung in the choir, but then I also played keyboard for the choir. Oh. So I mean, what? Then I have to go to this rehearsal and that rehearsal, and I mean, I believe it was Tuesdays and Thursdays was a rehearsal, and then Wednesday night was Bible study. Friday night was like youth night. Sundays was church, and that was when they used to have afternoon services. People don't have those anymore, but yeah. So
and you did all that while attending a performing arts school?
Yeah. Yes.
Wow. That's a lot. That's a lot. So it's a safe bet that people who rang in 2020, whether it was going to midnight mass or watch night or watching the ball drop in New York, never expected that this year would turn out quite like this. A global health crisis. Yet here we are. People are terrified, people are angry, times are divisive politically, and states have opened or partially opened, yet some feel unsafe still, and others feel like they can go anywhere and do anything they want to do, whether they're wearing a mask or not. People are glued to the news, they're depressed, unsure where to turn. How does one navigate their mental and physical health, but also their spiritual health in times such as these? And for those that may not believe in a higher power, what's your advice to them as well?
Wow, that was a great question. That was a powerful question. And oh boy. I would say, because you've asked me a lot, that during this pandemic, we must keep the faith, right? We have to keep hope, no matter if you are saved or not saved, if you go to church or not, but we all need this sense of hope, and I just want to encourage everybody, no matter where you stand on the spiritual spectrum, we will all come out of this together. We are in it now, but we are going through it. So there is another side to this. I believe also we have to have faith and know that God is in control of this situation. Those of us who are faith believers like myself and yourself. But we also have to use common sense, right? So there are things that we must do in order to not get this COVID-19, and those are stay 6 feet away. Those things are wash your hands. Okay, uh, uh, practicing social distancing and just having healthy habits. Those are the things we have to use during this season of COVID-19. And then I also heard you mention mental health, and then it was ironic because yesterday I was a part of a Zoom call with Ivy McGregor, who is the director of social responsibility for Beyonce, Yvette No Shore, who was the publicist for Beyonce, also Michelle Williams, and then Daniel Gillison, who is the director of NAMI, that is the National Alliance on Mental Health, and they were saying that mental health looks like those around us, right? Because for so often we have described mental health as those other people, those people, whereas mental health is in our families, and some of our friends are dealing with it, so then it's very personal, and sometimes it is us. So so we have to figure out how to navigate that space so that we can be a support system for those who are dealing with mental health issues.
Now, if I can backtrack for just a moment, some pastors have defied stay-at-home orders because they feel like services should not be interrupted. Others have attempted to defy the orders and then decided at the last minute not to. You're doing your services online. Where's the line drawn in terms of being able to worship and listening to the doctors and the scientists and the medical experts?
When we are sick, we go to the doctors, because those are the experts who actually know how to handle our health. I have never gotten on a plane and then said, I feel like driving this plane, right? Because I am not a pilot. So I want the experts to actually drive, and then to be the doctor and that I go to see. And likewise, in the midst of this pandemic, there are experts. There are people who know. And I think even as people of faith, we have to not only trust God, but also trust the experts. Okay, because some people have actually seen this as an attack on the church, but the bars are also closed down. I mean, the gyms are also closed down. The parks are everything is closed down. So then this is not just an attack on the church. And the thing about COVID-19 is that we've been seeing all around the country faith leaders dying, and people in the congregation. And I think that it is absurd for us to actually point to those people and then say they died because they didn't have enough faith. Matter of fact, there is a scripture that is in Hebrews that actually says, these are they who have died in faith, not having yet received the promises. So, and I don't want to be that person. I don't want to die saying, oh, well, do you know what? Carter had faith, but the Lord took him home. No. So I, as for me and my house, we will practice social distancing until the appropriate time.
And as we wind down, let me ask, how are you personally navigating this new normal, if you will?
How am I navigating? Oh God. So I've been taking walks. I have been, watching some shows on Netflix. Um, I've been reading some books. I've been doing some projects around the house, and that I really wanted to get done, and also some projects in my own personal life. So this has been a time of refreshing for me, and I would encourage all of us to actually use it as a time of refreshing for ourselves, so that we come out on the other side better than we did when we came in.
Beautiful, beautiful. NAKIA, thanks so much for joining us. I know you have a hectic schedule, so let's jump right in. You're clearly blessed and very much in demand. Lots of projects in some phase of production or on the horizon. At least 91 credits on IMDb, the International Movie Database. But you're also a human being and not free from challenges or obstacles. In these uncertain times, what are you personally doing to navigate your well-being, safety, and mental and creative sanity?
Hey, first off, I want to thank you, man, for having me on. Well, what I've been up to, I just been really just staying out the way, man. I've been reading, I've been watching movies, catching up on stuff that I haven't been able to do for a while. So I'm just catching up on rest. I'm catching up on exercise. Um, the most I've been literally was just on my porch, you know, try to stay as safe as I can, social distancing. And that's pretty much really all I've been up to in this, and just going over. I have been auditioning, you know, I've been being submitted for different open calls. So I've been doing that.
Now, you wear a lot of hats. You could probably have a hat factory. And among those hats, you are the founder of the renowned acting school McKNIGHT, which I didn't know until last year. We both had projects in the Philadelphia International Film Festival that McKNIGHT is your name spelled backwards. Tell me a little bit about your organization and its mission.
So I was playing around with my name, and basically it's just I can. So what we do is in the company, we just try to instill that positivity. So I just let them know that if it's up to them, if they want to do this, either if they say they can't, they're right. If they say they can, they're right. Like, I help get some of my actors on sets. I would say 90% of my actors work on something. I have kids from age 7 all the way through adult. Like, my old student is 67. It's been a blessing, man. Just seeing their journey and seeing their hunger. It's great. Like, I have a 7-year-old that just booked a project with McKnight Shyamalan called Servant. So it's been a blessing, man, truly. Some of the teachers that I have that work with me, one is a woman. I'm not sure if you remember Miss Lenny Daniels. She started the African Black Film, the Black Theater Festival in Philly, like years ago. Robert Townsend was there. Different actors were a part of it. So she's part of my team. I have a couple other. Like, matter of fact, I have a young lady named Liz Priestley. You're gonna see her in a new film coming up called Concrete Cowboys. So I have different people in the industry that works with me. I bring different artists in to talk to the students. So it goes all around. Like, recently I just had my boy Trey Chaney from The Wire, who played Poot. I had Chris Amule on the he came through and did a couple he popped in on the students and gave them some gems. I have an agency workshop coming up. I have a financial literacy workshop. I have a screenwriting class coming up with Julian Bullock. So it's just been a blessing, man, just having all these different people just come through and support.
Concrete Cowboy is the Idris Elba movie. You were the dialect coach for that film, correct?
Yes, I was helping Idris with his dialect. Yeah, he's such a cool dude, man. Really fast with his learning, man. Like, you could tell him something once or twice and literally he got it, you know.
Wow.
So yeah, it was a pleasure working with him. I'm working on the set with everybody. I met so many different people. Lee Daniels was there. Um, Caleb from Stranger Things.
Now, the entertainment industry is largely on hiatus, notwithstanding virtually produced projects, but eyeing an eventual reopening. In fact, it's been reported that Tyler Perry Studios in Atlanta, Georgia will be reopening as early as July. For artists who are out of work, perhaps unable to seek artistic opportunities like auditions, how do you suggest they remain motivated? Is it important for them to continue honing their skills during self-isolation or quarantine, or is taking a break okay?
Definitely stay up on your craft. You know, make sure you stay learning, stay getting ready. So you know, because once they open the door, I mean, it's going to be a slow start. It's going to be like, I know Tyler Perry's only doing like one show, and then he's doing another show. Whereas he had multiple shows going on at one time. So it's going to be a little slower. I just read that a lot of extras aren't going to be, they're going to limit the amount of that. So
Right.
that's a lot of jobs that's going to be cut as far as with extras. But the thing is, you just got to get ready. And sometimes with things, with whenever there's, whenever things happen where it looks grim, there's always opportunities there. So right now, it's a lot of virtual opportunities. So you can create still, you know, still write, still read. Just stay creative because once the door is open, it's going to be a different playing field because a lot of people are looking for content right now.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to just make sure you have a few scripts written, or you know, you may create some things with your friends. But just definitely just stay in the mix. Just stay reading. Just keep, you know, read the paper so you can understand like what's happening. But definitely don't stop.
Now, as you know, it often takes dozens, if not hundreds of people to make a film, TV, or theatrical production happen. When this industry does reopen, what do you think it'll look like? And should actors and crew people, when they walk back onto that set or into that soundstage, be concerned for their health and safety, or confident that things will be okay?
I think a little bit of both. Like, I know it's going to be very small crews. It's going to be skeleton kind of, because you can't have as many people around each other like you did before. The actor's safety. I mean, just like Idris, just you know, he was diagnosed with COVID. He's fine. He's good now, but still, you know, you just don't know who has it. You know, so you just have to be very careful. I think the precautions for that is going to be very high. I know they're going to have COVID specialists on set to make sure people are tested. So, you know, I just say, I mean, it's going to be different, but it still has to go. So you just got to do what you got to do, and you know, wear your mask if you're not on set, or even if you're on set, just be careful. Just do everything you need to. If you need to wear gloves, whatever you need to do, just keep your safety straight.
These are very divisive times with respect to politics, race, gender, class, sexual identity, and I suppose it can be argued that it's always been that way. I once interviewed the late actor and activist Ruby Dee, and she said,
Well, one thing I like about the filmmaker is the opportunity to affect the tenor of the times.
and the late musician Nina Simone also said it is an artist's duty to reflect the times. But it can be difficult for some to support a person's art if it's overshadowed by their activism. Do you feel artists have a responsibility to raise their voice about issues and injustices facing us, or should they just keep their mouths shut?
I think you definitely have a voice. I mean, I think you're always given a responsibility with this art, because it's not, whenever someone turns a TV on or go to a theater, for me, I want to be entertained as well as challenged. Like when I see someone on stage, sometimes it's like, wow, it's like putting a mirror up. So sometimes that's good because people sometimes can't see themselves, and I feel like it's a responsibility for artists to, you know, just be cautious of some of the work they put out, um, because it's just not for your friends, it's for the world. So, you know, I would definitely say, yeah, I would say definitely, you know, use your platform. It don't have to always be politically correct, but if it's something that you feel that you know, you can put some stuff out, or you can create some stuff or whatever. But yeah, just be strong with your choices, and just use your platform. That's all I can say.
Now, I have to ask, we live in a social media crazy world. Folks tend to clamor for validation from people they don't know and can't see. They want those likes, they want those retweets. There's so many artists creating their own work, creating work, in my opinion, that rivals the mainstream. But no matter how hard they work, no matter how hard they promote it, it doesn't go viral. It doesn't garner the subscriber count that they want. It doesn't reach the masses. And it often leaves artists questioning their own talent. Some even giving up. I always say for my own work that if just one person is touched by it or compelled to re-examine their perspective on things, then I've done something right. Do you have any advice for those struggling with self-doubt?
You know, because there's the social media platform can make people depressed. You know, depending on, you know, what you see other people doing, and you think, wow, you know, I'm trying hard and I'm not scratching the surface, or I'm not doing this and that. But the thing is, we all have followers, like people that do like our work or see our work, and we just got to be confident in the work that we're doing. Um, you can't A like sometimes it doesn't equal dollars. Sometimes, I mean, it can equal dollars depending on how you brand yourself. Um, but um, but you want to still be able to put good stuff out there. Um, and I would just say, just keep going. I mean, if this is your dream, I say just keep going. Somebody somewhere will like your work.
Finally, Nakia, what's coming up for you, and where can people find out more about you and about your organization, I Can Axe?
What I have coming up, I have a few projects actually. They can check me out on Black Lightning. I'm on CW, and also on Netflix. You can check the whole season out on Black Lightning. I play Terrence Long on the show. Um, I just shot a film out in Atlanta. It actually got held up because of COVID. Um, but I have about maybe 5 or 6 projects that's on hold and ready to go soon when these doors open. So, but you can follow me on social media at NAKIA DILLARD, and also my acting school, I Can Axe. That's AIKANACTS, and you can sign up right online if you have virtual classes now, so you can actually be anywhere.
Well, thanks so much, Nakia. You know, every time I see you, you have a positive attitude, a smile on your face, which can be very challenging in this kind of industry, but it's very refreshing that you have such a humble spirit, especially given all that you've accomplished. And we almost worked with each other. We even got down to actually being on the same set. It just didn't work out. But I was fortunate enough to be in the dramatic series, The Underground Kings, which you also produced.
We had to have you in there.
Well, thank you for
You had
that.
to have the
Thank
best
you.
of the best, and when we were having our meeting, I was like, you got to get Rob in here.
I appreciate that. And I have no doubt that you and I will be on the set together at some point soon. Stay safe, stay healthy, and my best to you as always.
Coming, man. It's coming.
All right.
Thank you again, good brother.
There's not a friend like the lowly Jesus. No, not one. No, not one. None else can heal all our souls' diseases. No, not one. No, not one. Jesus knows all about our struggles, and he will guide us till the day is done. Oh, there's not a friend like the lowly Jesus. No, not one. No, not one.
Woo! Thank you, sir. Thank you for
Thank
that.
you. Soon I will be having a single or possibly a full CD coming out. The website, which is under construction, it is www.wdc3.org.